I saw something go green.
Yeah, on your right, on your right. We can bring ours down if you want.
No, that's okay.
100%. Do you want?
Just trying to get on your level.
Plug in any new appliances past this because with the electronics around here, because they have the temp stuff with the generator, it might short circuit, and they're currently in the actual match.
No, do you need me to unplug or we're good?
Pardon?
We're good as it is?
Alright, no worries. Just making sure.
Sweet, we won't.
Before and it turned off the power in the whole place.
But we're good at the moment?
Yeah, it's all
We're
good.
good at the moment?
Just no changes.
Okay, sweet, done. Yeah, no, we won't. Thanks, mate. I'm glad you told us that.
Yeah.
It's hot stakes here right now.
This is fucking, yeah.
So is that a tournament?
Ruin a whole. Is it a tournament?
Yeah, the boys are on.
The black belts of the League of Legends world.
Real.
All right. We're back, guys. It's episode 150, probably. It feels like it should be a round number with such a special guest. He was last year's guest of the year. We had him on as a purple belt, and no one else stood a chance against him for the guest of the year. He's come back as a black belt for another unstoppable performance. Levi, how is life as a black belt going?
Life as a black belt has been pretty nice. Ups and downs. Very emotionally rewarding and challenging.
Well, I got to say, you were sort of ripped off for guest of the year because you got second
Oh, did he?
behind
fuck?
Mir Orney. So this is what happened, right? You were our most downloaded episode by far.
But this is like the UFC
Yeah.
rankings, how they've got Daniel Cormier ahead of John Jones, despite the fact that John Jones has clearly beat him twice.
So I think all up,
No hate. I love Mir. Mir's my boy.
and Mir, you were on a few months before Mir, who went on to win. So he trains Tyson Pedro, Taito Avasa, a lot of Jits guys, everything. And he
Did you just say jits like you do it?
No, so I'm just trying to be cool in front of Levi. I'm trying to be cool, all right? Anyway, so he got like an abundance. He had like 300 people comment on our post, which counted for a vote. But you had the most downloads by probably going hard, man. Whereas you reshared it and people were like Levi. And I think a lot of your fans naturally stayed with us and they were just hanging around to vote you for guest of the year. So you can't go back to back. So Mir's out. So you're in a chance, but you got some hot competition though this year.
Oh, this is another. What do you
Sorry,
get something if you do you get something if you win?
Well, I'm gonna give you one of these hoodies.
There's
So-
also a belt back there.
Oh,
Yeah,
sick.
there's a NWA. No, it's a NWO belt. So maybe we'll give that to this year's champ.
Okay,
But you said you're trying to move full time to New York, so you might not even be here to be able to accept it.
that would be sad. I would fly back just to accept my reward though.
That's
So,
that's the most anyone's ever done for this
What's
show.
the thought behind the New York move? You just feel like you need to be closer to your jiu-jitsu home? Not enough sparring partners in the land down under?
No, look, I have some great training partners here. Like, it's actually awesome how good my training partners here are now. I'm really super grateful for it.
If you want, you can grab the mic and I can
Just fucking one.
yeah. See how it comes up, and then
Okay.
just have those fingers.
then
That
you-
then
Might
you,
also
yeah,
give
that you're on.
him much slack.
Yeah. Sorry.
Okay. But like, my coaches over there, all the opportunities are there for like super fights and stuff like that for jiu-jitsu. And if you're trying to kind of make it in that kind of career path where you're doing super fights and taking seminars and stuff, New York's a good spot because you have kind of easy access to Europe and stuff. And also Unity has just become like a big home for me. There's a lot of people there that have like that are just on like the same journey, similar mindsets, and it's just easy. It's easier to get better there, honestly. I just show up and like I'm kind of carried by the group of people like all around me, and they just kind of like make me better. Here it's becoming like that too, though. Like I said before, like you just naturally start to attract like a lot of people like that are like-minded, and now I have a lot of good training partners here. But I think it'll just be like the best for me in my career if I stay there and just train there.
Yeah. Unity seems to have like a pretty
full-time.
strong roster. Do they have a couple of other guys around your weight class that you could be competing against for world titles and things like that?
Yeah, so like a couple of my really good friends that I've been training with since we were like purple belts together, they all just got promoted this year to black belt too. So I'm hoping like we won't be fighting, but I'm hoping we'll be like closing out the like worlds next year, in the lightweight division.
What was it
Yeah.
like getting your black belt? Because I remember you told us the hectic
Well, you
story.
you woke up to it, as I understand it.
No,
right?
no, wasn't that
Nah.
because you only just got your brown belt, right? And you told us the story off air
Yeah.
about how you got it, which Angus and I have kept to ourselves.
Well, I
Yeah,
think I just did I just spill the beans?
No,
on it?
not really. Anyway,
No.
he woke up at
It
6
was-
a.m.
it-
His coach was like, "Surprise! Here it is."
Pretty much. It was pretty emotional for me because like they gave me like they printed out this email I sent them from when I first like decided I wanted to go to Unity when I was like a kid and like a blue belt, and I was just emailing them like constantly like some sort of freak. Like
Yeah.
I'm very obsessive sort of thing sometimes, and I was just emailing them like constantly, and it was really sweet. Like the day they gave me my black belt night, they like printed it out, and it was like the first ever email I sent them, and then next to it was like a photo of like me winning brown belt worlds that year. And then like as soon as like they pulled it out, I was just like crying so much I couldn't stop crying because it'd been like an emotional day already. And then
How so?
yeah
Well, you can't talk about it.
yeah it was just
One of those days.
one of those
Yeah,
days.
yeah.
It was
We
just
all
one
have
of those
those
days.
days.
A lot of tears even before that. And
See,
then,
everyone has their down days. You don't need to go straight to IG about it.
you don't need to go straight to
I don't
IG
think I've
about
heard
it.
you have a whinge ever.
You don't have whinges, and I appreciate that because if you can have a whinge, it's in BJJ when you sent me, said watch this link of how humid Unity Gym gets, and I gotta
Oh, yeah,
say
that was
I
sick,
whinge how
right?
hot it gets in here.
That's such a legendary film.
What is so you guys just search Unity Gym on YouTube. I'm going
It's
to
the flow
repost it.
grappling. It's the flow
Yeah,
grappling.
flow grappling. And
Road to Worlds video.
And you literally
one?
said you guys are wringing out geese.
It
and
was
it's like of
raining in
sweat.
there.
It
There was like
so
clouds.
dense. I should never whinge
Yeah,
about something being
but
too hot.
we've moved gyms now, and it's not as it's not humid like that anymore.
Is that what you said to your professor? Like, hey, mate, can we get some ventilation in here? Everyone's bringing home, world titles and things like that. You're probably doing okay financially.
Everyone's bringing
air this
home
place
world's
out.
titles and staff.
It really helped us. You know what I mean? Like everybody that went through those really tough times at the old gym, like really grew and developed like a lot of maturity from it, and like it's really cool now that we have this awesome big giant gym that's like a lot more. We're able to get more kind of professional kind of rounds in. I feel like, you know what I mean? We have just space. We have the proper competition mats. And now we're just getting better even quicker. You know what I mean? So I think to have that contrast from like a gym where it was actually kind of difficult to train in, to have, this new space, we all kind of really a lot more appreciative of the space, and we take advantage of it like a lot more. And I think it's been really good for all of us actually to have that contrast.
Can you comment on or like explain to us, because you seem to have a bit of a unique style of jiu-jitsu. I know you were talking about this berimbolo thing, which I saw you do it, and I still don't quite understand it. Is berimbolo, does that describe a whole style of jiu-jitsu, or is that just the way you took that guy's back? Because that was sneaky as shit.
It's just like kind of like a specific sort of technique that it's kind of starting to encompass like a lot of different things, because the berimbolo is just like one simple variation where you just kind of like roll through and take the person's back. But now people kind of refer to berimbolo as like any sort of back take from the guard almost. You know what I mean? Like a lot of people are starting to refer to it like that. Like a berimbolo kind of game is just any sort of back take that you get from the guard.
Yeah. And is that something that sort of you guys all work on together at Unity, or is that just something that you've tacked onto and that's something you want to add into your game? Because the other thing I want to sort of ask about is, obviously you've all got the same professor. What's the top guy at Unity again?
Murillo Santana is...
That's right.
How can
Yeah,
you
he's the
forget that
coach.
name,
I'm
Angus?
sorry.
He's
I'm
the
sorry.
most intense bloke ever.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But as far as like, is all your guys' style at Unity Gym derivative of his, or does he push you to go out and sort of bring in different kinds of tools?
That's it, yeah. Well, he definitely, we're all influenced by him a lot, just because like we see how well his techniques work every day in training,
And you feel it
and you
when he
feel
uses
it.
on
Yeah,
you.
you know what I
Angus, you
mean.
wanna-
It's just...
You can move forward a bit just so you don't. Levi doesn't have to look around me. There you go.
It's-
That's better.
How about I move?
Yeah, that's perfect.
Okay.
Sorry,
Okay.
Just, my mic's in the way.
Just feeling it, and then also like having him demonstrate the techniques every night. Once you do it, you just see it just like work straight away, so you just add it into your game. But that being said, we have like a lot of time of our training where like a lot of our training is, developing kind of, our own individual styles and our own individual techniques. A lot of the people at Unity like the Berimbolo though too. You know what I mean? Just because of the Meow brothers were like kind of at the forefront of like the whole kind of Berimbolo kind of rise in the sport, like back in 2012, 2013, when it kind of became a thing or a bigger thing. So everyone was like really, all the younger guys were like really inspired by that, and a lot of them, started just doing Berimbolos all the time. But it kind of, everyone's kind of got their own unique style though too. Like a lot of people, just depending on what their personality is.
And do you find like the UFC, like again, I'm just a casual fan of these sports as I am of jiu-jitsu. Is it one of those things where certain styles match up better with other styles, or is it not as much the case as like in the UFC?
And just down to the skill of the jiu-jitsu practitioner themselves.
Yeah, I mean for sure. It's always interesting when, in competitions, obviously, when you have two people that want to, just play guard, and you have that kind of double guard pull scenario, there's always different contrasts and styles, and usually when two people want to play guard, that's like when you just have like this double guard pull position, which is like not that great.
Does that mean that it just goes into like leg lock city, or where do you go from that?
Sort of.
Or
Yeah,
you just try to yank him into yours.
Yeah, you're trying to either get up. You want to get up on the scoreboard from there. You know what I mean? So you're probably trying to like attack a leg or get under towards the back if you can. Those are kind of the two things. But a lot of the time, one person will just like kick the other person, like put their foot in the groin, like on the balls, pretty much, and then you just can't really progress. And then you only have 20 seconds, so they just
You only
stand
get 20
back up.
seconds for a nut shot.
No, you only get 20 seconds in double guard pull.
Oh,
And then-
before they stand you up.
Yeah, and they stand you back up.
So you got to act quick.
Is yours the federation as well, where they have, probably not based on what you just said, but there is a federation, right, where they go, there's no points for the first 5 minutes?
Yeah, that's a ADCC.
Yeah, but you're IBJF.
Yeah, but I mean, we fight like every different rule set. You know what I mean?
okay.
Majority of the guys right now at New York, a lot of them are getting ready for like more ADCC type rule sets.
Yeah. Do you think that that's a more
specifically
exciting
ADCC.
sort of format, because it does encourage you to take more risks at the start of the match?
It can go both ways, because sometimes people like don't care about giving up a bad position. You know what I mean? Or like they'll just like kind of like stall in like a shit position until there's points. Like ADCC rules are pretty. I like the kind of 5 minutes submission only, then 5 minutes points. I think that's pretty cool. But I think like EBI is kind of like doesn't really make any sense to me, just because it's like, do you know their rule set?
Yeah.
Hold on, can we so Angus, you're a fan. Because there's going to be a lot of guys like me who aren't particularly understanding what you're saying and the rule set. So you're saying for one of them, you got 5 minutes to submit, and then does it, no matter what the result, they still go of 5 minutes of points?
Because they've got to find
Yeah,
a
then
winner,
they
and
go
someone
into
always
5
doesn't
minutes
get
of
submitted.
points.
Okay.
But the thing with ADCC that's a bit strange is like they go into I think in the 5 minutes with points, you're not allowed to pull guard, and then it's like -1 point if you do. You know what I mean? And then in the final, you're just not allowed to pull guard at all, and if you do, you get -1 point.
That's kind of lame, right? Or
I mean,
do they do that
it's,
for
it's
excitement?
it's because ADCC is more. It's actually not a. It's actually not like a jiu-jitsu tournament. It's like a grappling tournament. You know what I mean? So it's encouraging, bringing guys from different grappling arts, like submission wrestlers, or mostly like if you want to do ADCC, you have to have good wrestling. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's interesting though, because it almost seems like they've tried to nerf jiu-jitsu to try to bring and entice these other grappling arts into it.
Yeah.
Do you get many sambo guys, like combat sambo, or because is sambo just wrestling, and then combat sambo, I guess, is
I
striking?
think in ADCC sometimes you do.
Yeah.
I'm not sure, but it usually just ends up being like the good jiu-jitsu guys
Yeah.
that win.
What do you want? Like, do you want to be known as the best jiu-jitsu guy, or are you enticed by the idea of just being known as the best grappler? Like,
I don't know. I'm kind of just going, like I said before, one goal at a time. Still my goal is just to win
World champ?
win the black belt world championship.
When are they? Because you haven't had a chance to have a crack at the black belt world title, have you yet?
No, I did. I actually got disqualified in my second fight.
Can we talk about?
Yeah, sure.
Is this the day you cried? Oh no, that
Yes.
was already the emotional day.
I cry all the time. It's just another day I cry.
So you can be tough as shit. It's okay to cry.
It's okay to cry. It's
All right,
definitely okay
let's
to cry.
Gotta
talk us
get the
through that
tears
day.
out.
How did you
You
get
do.
DQ'd? Was there a kick in the nuts?
Pretty much, yeah. It was double guard pull.
On who? Can we talk about the fighter or not?
Yeah. He was. I think his name seemed like he was French or something. I'm sorry. If that
Doesn't
I don't know.
Pierre.
Yeah, we'll call him.
No, nothing. Yeah, nothing personal towards him. But it was like double guard pull, and then after the 20 seconds, like they stand you guys both back up, and you each get a penalty. So it was like 3 of those. You know what I mean? And if you get 4 penalties, you get DQ'd.
Oh shit! So it was like a shitty way to go out.
No. Well, on the 3rd double guard pull, I was like, okay, so I can't pull guard again. So I shot him for a takedown. I just like timed it. Like you can time it sometimes if you know they're gonna pull, and I got 2. And then he kind of like had like my lapel under my leg, and I was trying to like do a smash pass, so we just like weren't moving for a minute, and then the referee just stalled us. I mean, DQ'd
Just
us.
DQ'd us. Is
Yeah,
that like
double DQ.
an annoying rule, or do you think it's necessary?
I mean, it's the rule. Like if you get 4 penalties, you get DQ'd.
Yeah, so it's
But-
fine. Or is it something that frustrates you?
I mean, honestly, like looking back at it now, it was a good thing because you know, obviously, anytime you lose, you can take positives from it, and it was a good experience for me to like learn and really mature from. I think since then I'm starting to, my jiu-jitsu's gotten a lot better. I'm starting to be like a lot more aggressive, just because I don't want to have anything like that happen again.
Yeah, you just want to end it
Yeah.
real quick. Dude,
so-
your highlights are crazy on the gram. Don't ever stop posting those.
Thanks, dude.
Like, they're fucking awesome to watch. And whoever mixes them, like, shout out to them. They do a 10 out of 10 job. It G's
Fuck
me
yeah.
up. Like,
Because
I just want to
actually
grab
hadn't seen
someone
you
and wrestle.
grapple before we had you on last time, and it's honestly
Yeah.
one of my biggest podcasting regrets of last year is like I didn't know who I was talking to properly. Because Oscar just told me the week of the podcast, he goes, my mate or my client said
Yeah.
he knew a guy who was good at grappling. We should get him on the show. I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
And then
And then next
And then
minute,
after
fucking
it,
biggest
I-
episode
oh
of the
my
year.
god,
That's sick.
we didn't know what we were
Dude, it
doing.
was perfect.
That's
Shout out
cool.
Dan Gunning. Got
Yeah.
to give
But
him
yeah,
props.
just
And your old
Dan
man. We actually
Gunning,
met your old
yeah.
man the day of the Khabib McGregor fight. He
Oh,
was
did
at
ya?
he was at the place with us.
No way.
Yeah, and someone was like, "Oi, this is Levi's dad," and I was like, "Oh, fuck, how you going, man?"
How's your dad
That's
go on
cool.
the mats? Can he choke people
Yeah.
out?
No, he can't. He hasn't started yet. I keep trying to get him to start, but he hasn't.
Come on, Nick,
I
get
know.
into it. Maybe we should all start together. Angus has done a bit of jiu-jitsu.
Yeah.
I've only wrestled my mates and clients, and I
I
gotta
just-
say, I'm like 5-0 on like,
You're 5-0.
dude, I've
Okay.
fucking armbarred
Alright.
people.
let me know when you're ready for your first loss.
I've armbarred people. This is how shit my mates are that I wrestle. So I
Right.
didn't know what an armbar was for the longest time. And then we interviewed Tyson Pedro, and he put me in a proper armbar. So I had my hips at their shoulder. But you're meant to have your hips at the elbow, right?
Which is fairly obvious to most people.
Wait,
Yeah,
you
so
had your hips at
seen
the
any.
shoulder?
So I had the hips at the shoulder, and my mates were tapping.
You know what we call that? We call that gooning people, Oscar.
Well, that's what I
You
did.
goon-
No,
Gooning
it's
people.
it's good to have your hips at the shoulder.
That's where you want? Okay, cool.
Yeah, well, you don't want your hips too close to the elbow. Like you mean your groin, right?
Yeah, my groin was at the shoulder.
Yeah,
That's where you want
Super
it?
deep.
yeah, that's bad. You want it like to be tight and deep. If
So armbar your hips can be anywhere between elbow and shoulder.
yeah, you want it to be tight. Like if your hips are too close to the elbow, they might slip the elbow out easier. You know.
Okay, swear. Well, then I'm good. No wonder. That's
No,
my
you're good,
go-to.
yes.
I gotta say they're all
Keep doing it.
they're all a bunch of weasels though. Like to be fair, no hug.
Jesus.
One was
Damn.
a guy from the gym. You
One
know.
day one of your mates is going
Angus,
to do
you
a
know-
bunch of steroids.
Hey,
and
yo,
pump your
hey,
ass.
I deserve it too. I deserve it. You know, one of them was
He's flexing
old
so
mate got
hard.
bit by the dog at the warehouse.
Oh,
Everyone's
yeah,
favorite.
Wade.
So this guy did a bunch of jiu-jitsu, and I watched him.
He had built
And
for
he-
war tattooed on his neck
yeah,
as well.
and he just was
Built for war.
like, he was the sort of guy out in town. Not a
He was
bad guy
heavy.
by any means. One day he was just chatting shit, and I was like, I think I can, if I act quick, I think I could probably pull him on this guy and get him, and I got him to tap. It was a sad.
Wait, have you gone in and trained though?
Never.
Oh, true.
I just watch the boys train. I go, that's not for me.
No, you should go in and train. It'll
It's
be
just,
lit.
but you have
They
to
beat me
eat
up,
shit
man.
for so long.
Yeah.
Like,
You
until
do,
someone
yeah.
else signs up at the gym, like
Yeah, for
you're
real.
just the guy that everyone's trying out their new skills on. You know what I
Yeah.
mean? They're
Yeah.
like, all right, I was going through YouTube. I saw someone do this. I'm just going to try it on this new white belt.
Yeah, we're like
All the blue belts are just gonna try to fuck you up pretty much.
Yeah,
And,
we,
like, all the white belts about to get their blue belts.
a good friend of the show, Matt Healy, beast of an athlete. Like he can run a low 11 for 100, super strong, real wiry guy. And his mate is a purple belt. I think he's quite high and maybe does a bit of coaching at a gym in Cronulla. And he's like tries to get him round to his gym. And he's like he basically just practices different chokes on me for an hour.
Lit.
What's the? Have you been choked out by any non-black belts since you got your black belt?
Like,
Is that just a part of
Unconscious?
life in training?
not really.
You don't allow that.
I would always
It's
tap.
not on.
Yeah, I don't have many brain cells left. You know, I want to try to keep as many as possible.
Oh, so you tap early.
No, I
You're
remember
very
last
mature.
episode you said you would go out a bit. Like you would really sort of let it go until you sometimes went out. You wouldn't sort of tap. You'd try
I'm-
and fight it and win.
If in a competition,
Yeah. I
Yeah,
think
yeah.
you said you had some issues in training though.
really?
Or maybe that was someone else. One of the other fighters.
No,
reviewed.
I'd usually tap like.
I think you're trying to paint Levi into this savage. He really just isn't.
Yeah.
He's just a
He's
guy
just
who's
a winner.
very in touch with himself. He ain't
Yeah.
about harming people. He just wants everyone to get along. And
Yeah, emotional
Tap
intelligence
early.
on fleek.
True. Something we talk about with every athlete we get on is like an average week's training
Mm.
and how it varies like off season versus in season.
Yeah.
And your competitions seem like quite spread out. Can you sort of
It's
talk
pretty
us
much
through?
all year the
Yeah,
same.
exactly.
Yeah.
Can you talk us through maybe an off season or easy week versus like a hard week of training?
An off-season easy week. So easy week would probably be like. Is that you?
My bad,
You
everyone.
fucked up.
Sorry, go on.
I'm gonna use that
Yeah,
to silence my
Mine's on
phone.
Do Not Disturb.
what
as
kind
well.
of hectic people don't have
Um,
their phone on silent? That's so
sorry.
aggressive.
Sorry, Angus. You're just insulting.
Sorry,
Angus.
Angus.
Thanks, boys.
Yeah. So a usual training, like a light training week, right?
Yeah,
A light training week would probably be either before like a competition, or maybe like after a competition, and then I'll just like train like once a day
Mm.
or something. Usually just like an hour drilling and an hour of rolling is like the minimum.
Fuck.
You know what I mean? For like a day of training, I feel like to progress. Obviously, like the day before, I'll always just like rest.
Mm.
But generally speaking, like it's if I don't have an injury, it's just like kind of my like it's my job just
You're
to,
just there
to,
all
just
day.
to train.
So
You know
like
what
the
I mean?
boys are here 8 hours gaming. It's not like other sports. Like so you could be learning something and getting efficient practice in for a number of hours every day.
Yeah, that's what I really like about drilling is just 'cause like you can kind of just do a bunch of it, and realistically you could actually, if you wanted to, just drill for like 6 hours every day, and you wouldn't be like
Fuck, that's
dying dead
intense.
tired. But yeah, I go through phases though.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
So is it like your own? When does your coach push you and say, okay, this is going to be a heavy week of training. I need everyone to give their best no matter what. We're going to be in it 6 hours a day, or is it like you choose? And he's like, this is the minimum. Hour
There's-
of drilling, hour of sparring.
there's the pro training, which is every day at 12, and that's kind of like mandatory. You know what I mean? Everyone's expected. No one's forced to do anything, but it's almost like socially mandatory that you just like show up every day, or to like the days that you're meant to do pro training, and you do it. But no one really has to be pushed there. You know what I mean? Because it's like everybody's so passionate themselves. Like there's no one that has to actually push them to be better. They're like pushing themselves every day, and Murillo's not the type of person that will like force someone to do like extra training or something like that. Like sometimes if he really thinks like you'll benefit a lot out of it, then like you'll say like, look, just stay and do the class. Like you kind of got it. And then if he says stay and do the class, you'll always take his word for it and just stay and do it. You know what I mean?
It's interesting a sport like that, and you say how training's structured, and I wonder if because obviously we look at every other sport and we have a lot of coaches on the show, and it is very structured for things like recovery. And I often wonder if that'll ever get into a sport like jiu-jitsu and things like
yeah,
surfing
probably.
and stuff like that.
The S&C or strength and conditioning always seems to be the last piece of the puzzle. Like often you see the big
Yeah.
steroid phase before you see the S&C phase. Like, do you run into that in competitions? Do you feel some guys and you're like, you got to be on some shit? Or do you think PEDs don't really have as much of a place in jiu-jitsu because it's not necessarily a strength sport? Like, it's not like you can punch people. So I can't really imagine how they would help with your technique.
I mean, I think if you were on steroids, it would probably help a lot in jiu-jitsu. Like just
guess
being
some
fuck
energy.
off.
Well, the recovery is
Just
always
being
gonna help.
the recovery and just being fuck off strong in
Mm.
jiu-jitsu does help. Like if you can just do the technique but just do it like with fuck off strength, then it'd probably be better than without any.
I guess there's
personally
weight
have never
classes for a
done.
reason.
Yeah.
Yeah, I personally have never like taken anything, or
Do they test a lot?
they only test it the world championship.
Because I suppose like at
And
a
if you
local
win it.
comp, even in Sydney, like you're going to attract some interesting characters and probably a lot of guys that want to do jiu-jitsu and fight sports to be intimidating characters, and they might be on gear. They
Right.
might do low-level competition, but it'd be a waste of testing because I imagine there'd be still be a small percentage, but there'd be a number of guys where are testing, whereas guys at the elite level, they'd probably either be more serious and smart about drug taking or just not do it at all. For
Well,
the
have
risk
any
like
top
yourself.
guys
Yeah.
failed drug tests in jiu-jitsu?
Yeah.
Okay, so it
Yeah,
does
yeah.
happen.
Yeah,
And
yeah,
then
it
they
does
go
happen,
straight
a
to
lot.
mixed martial arts.
But you've literally just
Yeah.
got to rock up clean. Like, guys need to sort out their cycles.
Yeah. Yeah, they got
Fucking
it.
ridiculous. There's no excuses if there's no out of competition testing. It's just like they're only asking you to rock up clean for one day.
It's just one day.
Hard to do, Angus, apparently.
Yeah,
And
apparently.
I saw
I'll
on
run
a-
some shit and enter a tournament.
There you
and
go,
we'll
Angus.
see how it
Maybe
goes.
so. Last week you were giving Randy Brown advice. Maybe this year you can be the steroid guru in jits.
He
Fuck,
doesn't
I'm
need
not,
it.
I'm
He's got
sorry,
the technique.
everyone who actually does jiu-jitsu, and there's an idiot like me calling it jits. Is that what do you call it? You just call it jiu-jitsu.
I just call it jiu-jitsu, yeah.
Have
You-
some
leave the presume-
respect.
It's a worldwide sport now. It's a worldwide sport.
Jits, yeah. You can call it jits, man.
BJJ. Are there any like nicknames for it that you're just like you cringe and roll your eyes? If it's jits, you can tell me. I won't take offense to it.
I mean, it's not. It's I have no personal problem. I've heard people having a problem with jits.
Sorry for those watching. If you're one of those people.
I really wouldn't like care what you called it, to be honest. You can
Yeah.
call it whatever
It
you
is
want.
one of those sports where it seems like it does have. There is a group of old boys who don't like to see much change in the sport. I remember I've gone back and watched all those Eddie Bravo matches against. What Gracie did he have those ridiculous grappling matches against? They ended up in stalemates. But I just remember hearing about how when he developed that whole 10th Planet style, there was a lot of resistance to that sort of change coming in. Has it really opened up recently in terms of like what seems acceptable in jiu-jitsu? Or I guess, how many years have you been in the game for, competing at the highest level?
Competing at the highest level.
Yeah.
I mean, I've only competed this year at black belt.
Mate,
But,
I consider a world championship
Yeah.
at
I
any
mean,
belt
yeah,
to be
last-
reasonably high level.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, yeah, I've been training with. Yeah, I've been competing at World since 2014.
That's so you
Is
you
there
were
anything-
young.
What were
man.
you saying? Was it
I was just talking about
anything
like
socially
new styles
unacceptable?
coming in. Like, is this
Oh, new styles.
Berimbolo thing like a new sort of vein of jiu-jitsu, or has this been around for years and I've sort of only just run into it?
It's been around. It's been around for. It's been kind of part of jiu-jitsu pop culture for about 5 years. Yeah,
So
it's
basically,
coming back.
since you got into it,
exactly.
And
Yeah,
what
There
do you
go,
think
guys?
of
Put two and two together.
exactly.
who did Craig Jones, the Australian? He had some UFC guy that went to bodybuilding. Light heavyweight. Anthony Johnson.
Rumble Johnson.
Rumble
yeah.
Johnson. Did you watch that? Craig Jones? He's the Australian guy, isn't he?
Oh my god, I'm such an arsehole. I didn't watch it. Did he-
Okay, so I've only
I'm
reheard
assuming
about it.
he's-
Did you watch it? He smashed it.
I heard. I
assuming
didn't
he
need to watch
smashed
it
him.
because a couple of people talked about it
Yeah,
and
fuck,
described it
congrats,
for me.
Craig.
Yeah, we got to get Craig on the show.
Yeah, definitely.
Apparently, he's not a bad surfer as well, but I did hear Rogan say that, so maybe that's not true. But either way,
Surfer?
yeah. He.
True.
Have you met him?
Yeah, I used to train with him a bit.
He's a beast.
Yeah.
What weight is he?
I think he fights under 80 8 kilos.
So he's a pretty
for
big guy.
ADCC. Yeah,
There you go.
Yeah.
And what do you fight
he's
under?
tall. He's super tall. Like he's a big guy. I fight lightweight, which is 76 kilos
Yeah.
in the gi.
And pretty comfortable to make for you. You.
It
looks
is,
like you're
but I'm
around
just like so unprofessional with my diet that it's difficult.
What are you eating at the moment? Give us the average day's diet.
Today,
Yeah. If it was average. Well, you got a coffee and it's
I-
quite late in the day, so I assume you're not going to bed for another few hours.
yeah, I just eat whatever, to be honest. I drink a lot of kefir. Today I had like a ham and cheese croissant for breakfast. But I
Breakfast of
did regret
champions.
it. I did regret it though. I was kind of like, I wish I didn't eat that.
Where'd you get it from?
It was the only reason I had it because it was like meant to be like the best ham and cheese croissant in Sydney. So I
Yeah,
just had to try it.
Put him on blast because it obviously wasn't if you
I
regretted it.
forget the name. Sorry.
Yeah.
But usually actually just like some eggs and some like toast and avocado.
So you're getting your pro in,
Yeah,
getting
for,
a bit
for
of
brekkie.
fibre in.
Yeah,
Some
just a
healthy
bit of that.
fats.
But it depends on the season. If it's summer, acai bowls every morning.
So you're
for
really living that jujitsu
Yeah.
lifestyle.
Fucking living the fuck out of jiu-jitsu lifestyle.
Man, I see
You
the
get
fuck
some
out
sort
of
of
it.
discount though, like
I
because
wish.
oh really?
No, I still have to pay like a fucking
And
dickhead.
yeah,
for, like,
you know
$12 for an acai
you know
bowl.
they're charging extra in Brooklyn.
Yeah,
That's
for
like
real.
the hipster capital of. Well, apparently Portland is the
Yeah.
hipster capital of America.
I just
but
actually feel like such an asshole having to go in there every single day and asking for the same thing, but it just sets me up for a perfect day. I know if I just fucking have this acai bowl in the morning, I'm just gonna have an amazing day. So I just have to keep doing it.
There's saying magic in there. And then what for lunch? Like, are you snacking? Because obviously you're training around midday. That's probably why you feel
In
good
New
because
York,
that's light.
yeah, in New York, every day after training, as soon as I finish training, I go and get a chocolate chip cookie and a coffee
Nice.
from this place called Culture Espresso. It's my fucking
Fuck.
favorite place.
Brooklyn is the shit. Like,
This
it's
place-
a good
this
such
is in-
a-
I
this
see
is
why
in-
you're
this
getting
is in-
over it.
This
Maybe
is in
we'll come
Midtown.
with.
This is in Midtown, actually. It's like
Oh,
the
okay.
best chocolate chip cookie of all time. And again, I don't know what is the magical combination of this cookie combined with a nice coffee, but
You
just-
feel 10 out of 10.
just fucking 10 out of 10.
See,
Puts
this
me
is
in
what
the
more
best
people
mood.
need to be doing. You need to be eating for feels.
Exactly. That's what I say. And then I'm just feeling great. And then after that, I'll get some micros in. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I have like
Yeah, eat some lettuce.
I'll eat some spinach,
Yeah,
something like
nice,
that.
nice,
you know what I
nice.
mean? Nah, but I'll
Spinach
have
is
like
just the punishment
I'll
food.
have
Yeah, dude,
Yeah, for
we have
real.
a bag of spinach in our fridge. And like tonight, I'm ordering Marilina's pizza. And while I wait for it to get delivered, I'll just like graze the spinach and be like, this is like good points.
That's
and
a
I need
power
to
move.
eat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's fucking That's
There you go. We onto something
mature
here.
I've
thing
got
to
a
do.
client who just, he
Mature.
needs food volume in his life. And I tell him, I'm like, mate, if you want to eat a garbage bag full of baby spinach, be my guest. You can eat as
Yeah.
much of that as you want. And
Well,
he went home and he did exactly
yeah.
that.
If you can just blend that, in with like a little
100%.
smoothie.
Yeah, you're on. Dude, you should
That's
just...
actually what I do though.
Yeah,
That's
yeah.
actually- with the acai bowl in the
Yeah.
morning, I always add spinach blended in there.
So sometimes you're making, or that's an option?
No, it's an option. I just say add spinach. It's $1 extra every morning.
Oh, fuck, that's pretty good.
Yeah.
Can,
Levi.
can you whip out your own bag of 99-cent spinach and go, just blend this?
No, 'cause it's $1 already. So just fucking.
And it's a lot of it?
I don't know how much they put in, but I can see little green pieces in there. so
Okay,
I'm
yeah,
convinced,
so
like,
feel
it's,
good.
It's enough.
And
you
then
know what I mean?
dinner? What are we having?
Dinner. This is just like off. Like this is okay. So probably some Mexican food.
Yeah, fuck, dude. I'm liking this lifestyle, hey. I love
Probably
Mexican.
some Mexican food. Maybe a slice of pizza from Still Hungry. Just one slice.
It's pretty balanced.
Can we just take
You
a
know.
moment to
Yeah, dude,
appreciate
I'm
the
fucking
dusk?
loving this
I
food.
love dusk. My
No,
favorite
dude,
time of day.
I'm just finally loving
Wow,
the-
look, this is beautiful.
We've nailed this. Levi, this is literally the best visual
Fucking made it.
sounding episode we've ever done. I hope everyone is appreciating this. And
It's
if you are
fucking so
listening to
sick.
this on the podcast, go to our Twitch channel and watch it from now. The scenes are beautiful here at the at
We
the
might get
SCG.
some
The
nice
light-
fucking
oranges
amazing.
later. So
The light is
What a fucking
working.
beautiful.
I'm appreciative. I'm
beautiful evening.
actually. I just looked over as the sun was setting. I was like, this new light is working wonders. The boys are looking good. The stadium's looking good.
yeah.
I'll take a bit of purple.
Yeah, it's good
Take a bit
shit.
of purple.
Now,
Good on the
Levi,
skin.
we've talked a lot about your even-keeled personality, and it seems like you go to a lot of efforts to stay in a nice routine, keeps you in a good mood. Is this part of your jiu-jitsu practice? Like, do you feel like if you come in angry that your game will be off?
Yeah, that's actually like a cool question because that's something I play around with a lot. You know what I mean? Like different like modes and different emotional states, and taking that into training, and seeing how my performance will be, or like taking that into a competition and seeing how my performance will be, because your emotional state really will change like how you train and change your performance out there. So I've played around with like you know um like bringing in more of like an aggressive kind of energy, or more of like a um more relaxed and like observant kind of energy, and I like kind of playing around with that. But usually the energies that you do the worst with of like the energies of like frustration. Anytime you get frustrated, you get fucked up. It's just fact, So
So what can you like rank how you've been feeling on certain days with certain performances, or is it something you've only sort of put into practice in training because you want to exercise it there before you take it to a competition?
it's something I always put into training, and then would take into a competition. Like, but I would almost get kind of obsessive with it. You know what I mean? Like, I would feel like almost like borderline OCD type behavior, where I would feel like this is the best like mode to kind of function in, and I should just function in this mode like in my everyday sort of life continuously. And
what is that mode? You seem like a pretty thankful, happy guy.
yeah, so I would what I would do like while I was rolling is I would like start doing like mantras and stuff in my head, like rhythm, like with my breath,
Yeah.
and that was like
Are you giving away the secret here? Because there's a few people tuning in.
well, I had to stop because it was turning me like crazy.
Yeah, okay. Oh, yeah, I imagine. Imagine if you're choking someone out training, you're just chanting shit.
Well, because no, I remember.
Yeah, I
like,
had to chill. I was going like borderline psychotic.
You were commenting on like breathing just before, because I know that was something that definitely let me down. Like with my brief experience in jiu-jitsu, like I would give away every time I was about to do something, because the people would feel me like brace and hold my breath right before I did it. Is that something that just good jiu-jitsu people naturally don't do, or did you have to work on weeding that out of your game?
Well, I got the whole reason. I guess it's been like a long time that I've been kind of, working on the mind. I kind of like was very interested in all of different types of breathing exercises and meditation and stuff from like a younger age before I started jiu-jitsu. And then I was always like excited about jiu-jitsu, like being like a kind of a viewing point for like how the mind could kind of, what it could kind of do, you know what I mean, and see how that could kind of help me with my progression. I just wanted to kind of see, if all this talk about how powerful the human mind can be is the thing, and so I was always like put heavy emphasis on that. I knew that would, along with like the hard work and the energy I put in, like I knew that would kind of benefit me in my life as well, outside of jiu-jitsu. And so I was doing a lot of research, and one thing that ended up helping me a lot was like heart rate variability training. Have you guys ever heard about that?
Yeah, is that like
I've
when
heard
you
of people
wake up?
monitoring it, but I've never heard of anyone trying to like actively control.
Yeah.
Is that just through the practice of mindfulness, or are you actually just thinking about your heart?
No, it's actually like super simple. It's just a matter of actually breathing. So when you breathe in, your heartbeat speeds up a tiny bit to make use of the oxygen or whatever. And then, don't quote me, I'm not a fucking like scientist. And then when you breathe out,
Hey, don't worry, we're known for not checking facts here at the
Yeah,
Hard
for
Forward
real.
This
Podcast.
is a safe space for
That's
talking
it. Yeah,
shit.
that's it.
I only got fucking 3 months CNI up my sleeve. So, and then when you breathe out, it just basically slows down a tiny bit. So when you have like good and like steady heart rate variability, like that kind of the variables are even, you're in a much more like coherent state. And when the variables start like kind of going everywhere, you kind of start going more into that flight or flight kind of response. and that really pushes you away from like a coherent kind of place,
Mm.
which is where you really need to be when you're in a jiu-jitsu match. Especially, you need to be very coherent. You need to be very, aware of everything that's happening, where your grips are, and you have to, which is difficult if
So
if
is
that
this something?
flight response is
Yeah.
kicking in. So the way to control it is through the breath. If you just breathe like evenly, then your heart rate variability, like then it's good. You know what I mean? But it has to be just like even breath. So if you breathe out 8 seconds, then your next breath you also breathe out 8 seconds.
You're so ahead of the
breathe
game
in,
because this
Yeah.
is sort of just coming in. I don't want to say flavor of the month because I'm hoping it hangs around, but now in the PT world or personal training and fitness
Yeah.
world and strength and conditioning, everyone's sort of just realizing now how breathing can regulate the state of the nervous system, posture, and just general stress
Well-
levels and things like that. But these jiu-jitsu guys have been practicing things like that for years, and like the whole mindfulness thing. And
Well, even
Yeah.
Will, like we had the Australian powerlifting champ on, and in between like lifts, so he's super hyped for the lift. He'll go away and pull himself away from the competition and go through
tone it down.
yeah, really tone it down, focus on his breathing, just to sort of bring himself back down. Exactly what you're saying.
Yeah.
And I imagine it's like if we've got guys listening that are new to jiu-jitsu, like they're focusing on the actual art of jiu-jitsu and competing, whereas you've,
Yeah.
I guess, mastered it to a pretty high degree, so you can let that happen naturally and then take your focus to your breath.
Yeah, well, that's actually what you got to do. Well, that's like all your training and shit will just actually go out the window if you go into like a place where your brain just isn't really working at all. You know what I mean? And you're freaking out. Well, it's hard because you've really got to like in a match, especially in like a 10-minute match or even like a 6-minute match, you have to be really aware of like and very calculated on like what's gonna happen on like the points, because one advantage or one point scored against you could be the match at that level. You know what I mean? So, yeah, but it's been really beneficial for me, just like being able to just implement some of those practices into my life.
So when you're focusing on your breathing and focusing on getting into the right mental state before a jiu-jitsu matchup, are you thinking about your opponent or are you just thinking about yourself?
Just thinking, I'm trying not to think at all about the opponent, really. I'm just trying to think about like my breath fully.
Because is that the wrong
And then-
approach? Are you just meant to take the same game into every match and just impose yourself on your opponent, and it's like bad to sort of be reactive to their style? Or is that just a different style of jiu-jitsu?
Well, there's some people you need to prepare like specifically for. You know what I mean? You want to do as much that's in your power to win. So if you know someone's going to do a particular thing and you have a way to basically, get an advantage of that knowledge, then you should definitely take it. You know what I mean? That being said, there's a lot of people in like a jiu-jitsu tournament, and sometimes you'll have no idea what they do or anything like that.
Because
And
there's so many killers now.
you just exactly. You just do it. There's so many killers, but generally, you just want to like, you have like a kind of like idea of like things that you want to like go towards, but you're definitely trying to be like aggressive the entire time, because as soon as they start to attack, they'll be kind of ahead and winning.
Yeah. It's weird because like at least when I watch jiu-jitsu, it doesn't seem to be a very momentum-based sport, because like you can just mess up, get swept, you can get pulled into a trap. Is that how you sort of see it as well? Because like it must be hard to relax because you can, like I said, it can just come out of nowhere.
Yeah. Momentum will play a part though. If you can get ahead and you can start staying ahead, or like if someone like comes out like with like a very like sprinting energy in the beginning, they can like gain momentum and then get ahead, but then they can also like get tired and give something up. Or
I guess, do you see guys getting pressured by the points as well? Like when they see them getting behind on points, that's when they really start opening up and getting a bit wild.
100%, yeah. That's usually where like more submissions will start to come into play. When people start getting desperate, they'll leave openings, and that's why I think points is a good method for like spectators to actually view. If both people are being like aggressive, it's a good mode for spectator viewership, I think.
Would you like to see rounds implemented in jiu-jitsu just for like a bit more of a fresh start, maybe 2 rounds just so you get an opportunity to be back to the feet, or do you just like
Yeah,
the idea of deep waters?
I've seen that, and I thought it was pretty cool. I thought like it really made it so like the best athlete would always win. ACB does that. They're a federation out in Russia, I think. And they just do like super fights kind of thing. Like they have like a championship belt, and like the championship is to fight for the championship belt. It's like 5-minute rounds. You know what I mean? But they're all kind of like with points as well. So like the points just kind of like you win the rounds, then person with the most rounds won like wins.
That's a cool way of doing it. So
yeah, it's cool.
if you could design it and write it out on paper, who would you fight in your dream jiu-jitsu match, and what would the rules be?
So my goal was always like last time I spoke with you guys, I was always thinking about fighting Lucas Leary in the finals of Worlds. You know what I mean? That's why.
And where's he from?
He's from Brazil.
Nice.
Yeah. So yeah, I was always thinking about fighting him at Worlds, because usually that's the only tournament he does every year. He's like won like 6 times now.
Oh, so he's the man.
Yeah, he's the guy you want to take.
But he signed up for the Europeans at the beginning of this year, and I was like the week before, and I saw that, and I was like, what the fuck?
It's time.
Yeah, but it was like 6 months before like I thought I was gonna have that matchup, and I fought like smart, and I won the match in the finals of the Europeans, but it was a close match, and a lot of people were saying like he was like tired, or I think he made the excuse a bunch of times that he was like tired or whatever. Like,
and I guess because he's so decorated, people are going to listen to him or maybe believe him, and he probably has such a good following too.
Yeah, fair enough. So
no, not fair enough. You beat that
lame.
jerk fair and
That
square.
whole mentality.
Yeah.
You have to like really beat the champ. It's like, no, if you beat him,
You
you
beat
him.
And now
Yeah.
it's like, look, it's on for Worlds, right?
He better be on his bike.
Yeah, so I'm
working on that cardio.
I'm really looking forward to that rematch. I know
hope he packs
he's
an acai bowl.
made some adjustments, and I've been training really hard for it. So, yeah.
I got to Google this guy so I can eyeball him and start to hate him.
Yeah, I'll work on the
Before the
game plan
Worlds.
for
When
you
is
as the
Worlds?
jiu-jitsu coach.
Worlds is next June, man. Next June. There's a lot of time, but we're trying to maybe there's been talks of potentially having like a super fight with him.
Dude,
Hectic.
earlier
can we
than
have it
that.
in Sydney?
Yeah, at the G.
It's
right here.
It's potentially gonna be in Australia. Yeah.
You know
It's
your
gonna
boys
be
will be
crazy.
there.
Yeah.
Well,
it's gonna
we
be
got some
insane.
comments coming through in the Twitch, and one of them
Sick.
actually ties in well with our one of our scripted questions. So people are loving it. Someone goes fucking wow emoji. Someone can't believe there's not more people watching. Levi's the best. JJ representing PERS. He says, "Thank God we've got him." And then VMBJJ says, "Can we get Levi freestyling? He has awesome rapping." So let me hear you with this question first, and then maybe it can tie into
That's
this.
just like my mate from the gym I was just training with.
Oh, shout out to him.
Yeah, for
Anyway,
real.
so we have a question we ask all our guests, and is who is a rapper you would have rap about you, and what would they say?
Man, I answered this question last time.
Did you? Maybe we
Yeah.
only
We
just
had
brought
it on
that
here.
in. And who?
But
what-
it was
have you got someone different?
that was definitely have someone different now.
You got it.
You know who
Obviously.
does a rapper that's good at jiu-jitsu?
Fuck.
Shake well.
Last
Oh,
time
really?
Yeah.
I said 6ix9ine, right?
Yeah.
No, was it 6ix9ine?
I
Maybe.
believe
Didn't
so.
he get locked up though? Is he alive?
Locked up in a leg lock. You know, there's a lot to play
yeah,
around
yeah,
with there.
there.
Okay, probably. I would probably want,
Because I went from 21 Savage to Shia LaBeouf, and I'm sticking with
Shia
Shia
LaBeouf.
LaBeouf. Yeah.
or he raps.
Yeah, he freestyled on ways. It's crazy.
Okay.
I
Does-
thought
does that make you want
he
him
raps
too?
as good as Bradley Cooper
I mean,
sings.
Yeah, 100%.
I mean, now I just feel like I can like just pick anybody, any celebrity.
No, what he is, I would say I've seen him freestyle, and it was pretty mad. Well, who were you gonna say?
Probably some. I'm just thinking of someone I want to meet, sort of. Fuck. I wasn't
There's
ready
plenty.
for this now. Maybe. Fuck. be Rico Nasty.
Rico
don't-
Nasty.
Yeah, she's like just bad bitch type beat.
Yeah, nice.
Nice.
I've
Yeah.
also thought
She's
about
pretty angry too, actually.
how old.
I don't know.
Dream woman
Is she-
or
yeah,
not
is
your
she
type?
I don't know. 'Cause
someone you
I
could
haven't
reach
seen
out
her.
to. You haven't seen
I
her.
haven't seen her, and
Let me look her up.
in,
Yeah, look her up.
I've
Angie.
just listened to her music.
What? Hey, this could be a match made in heaven. Maybe we can
Maybe
reach
that
out.
would be fucking cool.
Dude, that would be sweet.
I was
Having
going
someone
out
like
with Rico
rap you out.
Nasty.
Anyway, what would she say? She's like, he's my boo.
Probably. I don't know. I guess I just want to be there. I just feel flattered if she was rapping about me. I guess.
Angus, what would she say?
I'm not sure. I'm just looking at her. She's got some fucking solid fashion.
Does she?
She has a mill on the gram. You get
mill?
You
Yeah.
getting there?
Lit.
She's pretty cute. It depends what you're into. Like, you know, like you got to be really comfortable with yourself to date a woman like that, because you know.
Yeah, look, she looks like a young Whoopi Goldberg.
Cardi B, if
I
she
like
was
those
never a
glasses,
stripper
though.
Yeah,
and a
those
bit
glasses
edgier.
are
glasses.
lit.
Yeah, those glasses are pretty sweet.
Those glasses are fucking sick.
Dude, you know Bad Baby, that chick that goes
Bad
Oh
Barbie.
yeah.
Meet me outside. How about that? Her
Yeah.
raps not bad.
Meet
Not
me
bad, yeah.
outside.
What is?
Meet me outside.
That's the
That's
more
how
result-
Dr. Phil would have said it.
Yeah.
Meet me outside.
Meet me outside. How about that?
What else are our
Bruh.
new questions, Angus?
New questions. Do you have a party trick?
A party trick? Not really. I'm sorry.
No,
You
it's
don't-
like
you
no
don't
one
party
does,
heaps,
but we're
eh?
waiting
Yeah.
for the guy that.
Yeah, I don't have a party trick.
Your
What
party
could I
trick
do?
is just choking people out if they get out of line.
Yeah, I guess so.
That's
It's good to have one of those guys at every party, just in
Yeah.
case anyone gets rowdy and wants a shot at the title. You can just be like, "Come on, mate, let's relax.
Just choke this guy.
We
out
can all be
quickly.
mates here."
Yeah.
Yeah,
And
that would be awful.
You just hug him and you give it. You hug him and you give him a bit of the squeeze, and give him a
Yeah.
taste.
Just
Ang-
slight staunch, 50%
Yeah.
staunch.
But Angus, what about if it's a Unity Gym Christmas party? Then what happens?
Just chaos.
Like if people are getting out,
it just
people are
turns
getting out
into
of
a shitty kickboxing match
No,
because
the,
no one
for
wants
real,
to go to
everyone
ground.
actually like ends up walking around like protecting their neck because last time we all went out for dinner, everyone started choking. It was pretty immature, wasn't it?
What
Everyone
anyone
started choking everybody.
anyone getting actually knocked out, like unconscious,
One person literally tried to choke somebody else out unconscious.
out
They
of
failed.
anger or out of like
Just out of a
Just
joke.
Just having a
laughs.
silly
having a
goose
joke.
time.
yeah,
Yeah.
just having laughs with the boys. What was the meal?
Or you can eat sushi.
Fuck.
Fucking great time, actually.
Yeah, that's a good. Sounds like a good time.
Yeah.
Minus the
Steaks.
choking out.
Yeah.
And the next question is that the artist Cher. If I could turn back time.
Share.
Cher.
No, I'm
If
sorry.
if
I'm
I
just
could
detached from-
turn back time, you don't know that song.
No.
If I could. Oh wow.
We
I
need the
probably do. I
soundboard.
probably do, but I'm like just
Do
slightly stupid.
our listeners would be so sick of me playing this song, but do I pull it up? Because everyone knows this song.
Yeah,
Oh,
pull it
so
up.
I'll play it in the
You play it.
background.
Okay.
I'll
So
definitely know it.
basically, if you could turn back time and change something, what would it be?
If I could turn back time and change something, probably. Fuck.
This. Please tell me you know this song.
What would I change?
Let this song inspire you. The thought.
Low key, I don't want to be cliche, but nothing.
Oh fuck!
Sorry.
We got to get rid of.
Really?
I'm
these
sick of these
questions.
no regrets guests
Yeah.
who've just played their life right, because I've got so many regrets. And
Heaps
when I
of
hear them
regrets.
say that,
Okay.
'cause everyone's like, "Oh, my mistakes have made me who I am," but mine have just literally just screwed
Alright,
me.
alright, how about
every
this,
time,
Angus?
And they have not made me a
Ev-
stronger person.
Every time a
Okay,
guest
wait.
comes on and says, "I have no
Actually, I
regrets."
regret. What about? Actually, I regret eating that ham and cheese croissant.
Yeah. See, people live your life in regret. It's okay.
Yeah.
It's all good.
It's all
And
good.
I honestly, I regret eating all the food I did last week. And actually, no, I don't. I'm sorry.
Yeah,
I
good,
really
good.
It
Don't
was
say that,
fucking
don't
so
say that.
good.
How much is the best croissant in Sydney? What are we talking here?
Dude, the
It
best
was-
croissant in Sydney is from Sunshine
It was
Bakery
It
in
was
Bondi.
$6.50, and it wasn't. It was pretty good actually. It was pretty good. It was $6.50.
$6.50 is cheap.
Actually, low key, I
Food
don't
and
regret it.
taste.
It was fucking sick.
Okay, good.
Sorry.
Dude, if you want, and it's not there anymore.
got no
Remember, so there's the
regrets.
Sunshine Bakery on Bondi Beach up
I tried to have
Hall
a
Street.
regret. I failed.
Yeah, damn. So I was thinking maybe if our guests don't have a regret, we have to talk about one of our regrets.
Oh,
Yeah.
moving in with 5 students.
Yeah, that's a good one
That
for
was
you.
Fucking big mistake.
Yeah.
My regret is not doubling up on Holly Holm to when she knocked out Ronda Rousey. because I
True.
backed her. So yeah, that's
Actually-
that's a good one.
Levi will like this. My big regret, I didn't get into writing gratitude lists early enough.
What, you've been writing gratitude?
I have recently.
You have been
Dude,
happy.
the first time I wrote one, because I had a real good day, and then when I get anxiety when my life gets really good, because I'm like, oh no, something's gonna go wrong.
Yeah,
So I went home
same.
to write a quick gratitude list, and it felt embarrassingly good. Like I was just
Really?
like, because I kept coming up with stuff, and I was like, like good.
That's
I got
actually
good
the
stuff
best
as well.
day.
Like,
Yeah.
because other people write the lamest gratitude list. They're like, oh, I'm grateful for my family, grateful for my health, and that's all
What-
good
what-
shit.
what did
that-
you put on
that's stuff
yours?
that everyone's grateful about. I was putting stuff like the satisfaction I get from biting my nails, like the little things, you know.
Oh,
Oh, that's
wow.
fucking
Yeah, that's
Yeah,
super
I do good
gratuitous.
ones.
That's fucking gratification power move.
Yeah.
I'll start sharing my gratitude
days.
list because it will help everyone
Oh,
else
please.
You
make
should
my
just
good
make
ones.
a whole Instagram page with your gratitude list.
And
That
he
could be my
posts for
new
about a
thing.
week.
Mr. Gratitude.
Fucking
Because
respect, bro.
our listeners know
Respect.
Angus is heaps angry guy.
I'm
and
trying to
they've grown.
change.
Angus has grown, and I think the listeners have gone to be thankful. But you still do fuck all for this podcast. So can we get a bit of gratitude and help there?
I'm grateful for how much you do for this podcast.
Okay, done. Thank you.
See,
That
we're
was
all good.
beautiful. That was beautiful. Thank
Yeah.
There you go. Put it on
And I'm
record
grateful for great guests like
here.
Levi.
Like Levi, yeah.
Stop it.
Yeah.
Exactly. This has been a good one. This has been another cracker. What else?
Yeah.
You got to give a shout out to the sponsors and plug
Oh,
your
yeah.
Surely you got
IG.
sponsors,
And your
right?
IG has gone crazy.
Shout out to Space Now official.
Yeah, that's a great company.
Space Now, they fucking go off.
They do
It's like Airbnb, but just way better.
for everything.
Oh,
For
so it's
everything.
Airbnb, but with more than just a place to crash.
Everything.
Literally everything.
Yeah, it's a great time.
You can get a studio, right?
Yeah,
You can get everything.
yeah,
You can get BJJ, place to wrestle.
Oh, is that how you organize all your seminars?
yeah. A lot of them. Yeah,
Nice.
That's good
it's pretty
stuff.
sick.
Who else you got?
Bros Fight.
Yeah,
They've helped
shout
me
out.
out like crazy amounts.
You got the bag over there.
Yeah, sick gays. Always a good time.
Dude, I saw someone wearing one of those in
Yeah.
the gym the other day doing squats. So they must be good. Oh, no lie.
Breathable fabric, I imagine.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah. This kid was in there and he's like, he had a shirt on up top and then he had his pants on. No
Just
belt though,
fucking
no belt.
Flexing on everybody.
Yeah, just flexing. Big kid as
You
well.
leave the white belt at home if you're gonna go work out in it.
Yeah, for real.
If
Do
it
you
was a
ever-
blue belt, he would have worn 3.
Do you ever want to
Definitely
walk
would have
in there?
fucking wore it around his forehead if it was a blue belt.
Do you ever walk into Equinox with like your black belt on? Maybe you could. That's a flex. Like you have a
Yes.
regular shirt on. No, you have the High Performance Podcast hoodie that I'm going to give you. Then you have the black belt, and then you got the white pants.
Yeah, it's slightly a flex, but it's also
Do
a
it.
deflex at the same time.
With
without
those
you
yellow
realizing
sunnies.
it.
Yeah,
Yellow
with those
sunnies
sunnies,
go off.
yeah,
I wish I
sick.
had those in today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
They're a
this
great
light
time.
and that coffee's going to keep you up till 6 a.m.
Dude.
tomorrow.
For real.
It's we're all stimulated. And,
much
and
blue light.
Instagram, yeah, Instagram, Twitter, everything you've got upcoming. Obviously, Worlds.
Yeah,
Bro, he said it
that's it.
3
dude.
times. Worlds is so far away.
Yeah, but
Yeah, World is pretty far away.
Yeah, but-
Actually, the next thing is Spider. That's coming up
In
in
Korea?
end of October. Yeah, in Korea.
yeah, nice.
That's gonna be awesome. That's
Maybe
gonna be sick.
maybe Raze will be back in Korea back then. You two can link up, have a bit of a game. You show him some moves on the mat.
That'd be pretty sick.
Hopefully he's out of
Get me in
scrimming.
some fucking sick internet cafe in Korea.
Dude, that would actually be funny for the IG post. Get
Yeah, for
Levi
real.
Good
choking
collab.
Raze out. Hopefully he's out of scrim when we wrap this up.
Do you ask Beck to choke you?
No, I'm not into that.
Seems like it.
Why?
Just how much you've been talking about it. You like the idea of it.
Me getting choked
Yeah.
out? Haven't I told you? So once upon a time when I was a single man, there was this young lady I was seeing at the time, and she things got heated, and she goes, "Look, here's what you're gonna do," and I was like, "Oh." She's like, "Put your hands on me," and I was like, "Okay." And I'm wearing the moment. She's like, "Choke me," and I was like, and she's like, "Harder," and I was like, she's like, "What the fuck?" She's like, "Choke me." I was like, "No," and then she slapped me.
How emasculating is that? Where she's like, "Fucking choke me!"
And I was like, no. I was like, so many things could go wrong here for me. Like, what happens if I actually choke her out? And then things go
Yeah,
south.
true.
Have you ever been hit up by some freak
It's a
chicks and they're
lose-lose.
like, look, this guy, it's his job to choke people out. He's going to be a real good at it.
Yeah, I've had a couple messages just from random people on Instagram, but they've all been guys.
Guys are so much more ready to just slide
Yeah.
into a DM.
Yeah.
Oh, that's
A guy from work got offered
Yeah.
$500 because I work with a lot of muscly guys. He got offered $500 to roll around in cake in a Speedo.
And please tell me you
500
did it.
bucks?
He didn't do it because
Oh, he
he
didn't?
made. I was like, "Do it, bro," but then he made a point. He goes, "Yeah, but like, what if I rock up and he like smacks me over?" the head
Oh,
with a
so he
pan?"
had to be there. I thought he did this
Yeah.
guy.
No, not via Skype. This guy wants to smell the cake,
Ooh,
fresh,
what
hot
sort of
cake. I
what
don't
sort
know.
of cake?
like a birthday cake, I imagine.
Yeah, nah.
Dude, being
Yeah,
a
probably
bodybuilder is dangerous.
Yeah,
That
dangerous
does sound
stuff. Well, not as
dangerous.
dangerous
You
as
could
being
die.
getting up people to choke. So the guys DM me and they're like, just choke me out.
Yeah, just two. I've just had 2 messages, but one of the guys also messaged like the entire gym. Like he was like he was really keen.
He's
on
like,
it.
send me one of your sweaty
Dude,
geese.
why doesn't he just low key sign up at the gym and just shut his mouth and just live out his dreams?
I think he's from like Italy or something, or some shit.
A joke, I mean.
Yeah, his English is always really bad. And like, you're like, what? Like,
You would just turn up to a Euros 1 year
I
in.
think he sent me his
Italy.
foot size as well for some reason. It just,
nice.
it was, I
Just
was
in
so
case you need to
confused.
know.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's just so far away from the neck. I just
Why
didn't
do you-
understand the
Maybe he wants you to
relevance.
choke him out like with your ankles.
Like the
Okay.
foot job of submissions.
I'd want some good money.
Yeah, yeah,
I'd want some good
100%.
money.
All right, let's wrap this up there. Mate, you'll be coming back on again as world champ. I'm putting it out there.
Fuck yeah.
Choke out old mate from
Thanks
Brazil.
so much for having me on,
Mate,
guys.
anytime.
Always a good
Anytime
time.
you're back in Sydney, you
And
can always hit the
how's
boys
the
up.
fucking like atmosphere?
the
Like,
atmos-
we went from fucking daytime to nighttime.
Unreal vibes. And the
Right?
lighting, if anything, the lighting's got better in the dark. You can't see the SCG, but
Just amazing.
it's good stuff. So
Just a
thanks
great
for everyone
time.
that tuned in. This will be out Monday if you want to listen to it again. Otherwise, it stays on Twitch. I put the highlights up on Twitch, and then follow us on IG at High Performance Podcast. I'm at Oscar Charles 3. He's
if
at
you want me and
Andy
Oscar to
Scott 92.
grapple live on IG, let us know.
Fuck, you know people
Lit.
are going to say yes, though. Maybe next time
100%.
you're in town,
Yeah. You
you...
guys should come in sometime.
You know what would be fair? Levi gets to coach, not coach you beforehand, but
Yeah.
once we start, he can coach
I
you
coach
verbally
Oscar.
and guide us
You're-
through it.
You're
And
that
I'm just
confident.
left with
Oh
my skill set.
shit.
Oh, yeah, that's fair.
that's fair.
You've trained a bit in BJJ.
Well, because if you've done 12 weeks versus someone who's done nothing,
Zero. Yeah.
Yeah, you-
might
It's
as well
those
be a
newbie
black
games.
belt, right?
Newbie games.
Might as well. Yeah.
All right, deal.
For real.
All
I
right,
think
done.
that's
Next
fair.
time you're back
That-
in
that is
Sydney.
fair.
Best of 3.
I'll limber up.
Okay.
All right.
Okay.
What best? Oh, you're not confident at all then?
Oh, best of 1 if you
Done,
want. I just
done,
thought,
done.
like, you'd learn my style.
No, I'm
You learn
fucking
my
ready,
style.
mate. I'm ready
My
for
aggressive
one.
style.
I'm ready for one. Okay, done. All right, guys. Thanks for tuning in. And Levi, thanks again. We'll see you
Thanks so
guys
much.
next time.
Bye.